So my main topic is playing MLB baseball during the global pandemic. The global pandemic has definitely made a lot of complications for everybody around the whole world. The impact that the global pandemic has had on pro sports has definitely been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I hope we don't have to go through again. But if you ever wondered what it is like to play a pro sport during the pandemic, well, it's very difficult. They set up a bubble, first of all, in order for the MLB players to stay inside this bubble and play safely without going around in public and risking a chance that they will have contracted the virus eventually. So playing baseball and during this pandemic has been very rough in many situations because when the pandemic hit in March, the season was set to not open at all for MLB. The MLB decided that they were going to not have baseball this year, and that was something that they thought could not happen due to the amount of depth that they would lose with not having that season. Pretty much all of their income comes from the fans and comes from people watching at home on TV, and the fans are a big part of the MLB, and without those fans, they would not be able to produce the amount of income that they need to run that place. The MLB has a lot of players. There's a lot of players on each team. There's at least 30 to 40 players on each team, and there's 16 teams that went to the playoffs and a total of 30 teams overall. So that's kind of a lot of teams that have to be, socially distanced and wearing masks, and they wear masks and are socially distanced. The main thing that everybody was concerned about was definitely the fans, because the fans definitely make a big experience. They make the experience a whole lot better for the players. The players have proved that they play better with fans cheering them on, and I can vouch for myself that when someone is cheering you on, you definitely play a lot better. The amount of fans that show up to each game before the virus hit is amazing. There's stadiums are packed just every single game. The attendance before the pandemic was 68,494,752 people for a year for the season. That is a lot. That's a lot of people, and it's at least $100 to $200 a person. So just imagine the amount of money that comes from that. And with not having those fans there, you can definitely tell that it makes a big impact on the amount of money that the MLB can make a year, which would lead to the players during the pandemic having a player's cut, which would mean that they would have a reduced wage coming in from their income. And as you can imagine, no one likes getting their money taken away from them that they were guaranteed in the beginning. But that is just how things would have to work in order for everybody to be able to get paid and do their job. The players overall, there was a little hung up in the beginning where there was a decent amount of players that tested positive, but after that, it started getting more and more better, and most of the players started to get pretty healthy, and I didn't hear of anybody getting COVID once the playoffs hit. Once the playoffs hit, everybody was healthy, and they were in the bubble over in Texas and California. And with that bubble in effect and the consequences, if the players left the bubble, the players were pretty good at staying inside the bubble. The bubble in Texas and California was really good because it was in the middle pretty much from where all the teams that made the playoffs were, and these teams played in those areas, and they were safe areas, and they had a successful playoff season, and everybody it worked out, and most people were safe, and nobody got sick. In the future, the MLB plans to play a regular season if this pandemic blows over. As of right now, it's not looking like it. So they are planning on another season similar to this season, where they only had 60 games. With the 60 games, that would also set a standard for the MLB to make player cuts. As in, like I said earlier, the players would not get paid as much as they would usually, which would suck, but that's just because they cannot have enough income to pay the players as much as they would like to pay them. So there's definitely a lot of unpredictable things going on right now. And with all the unpredictable stuff, nobody actually knows what's going to happen. So in the future, they're just going to plan for the best, and they say the MLB plans to be prepared for all outcomes.